Now class is just a simple CSS rule that allows you to change formatting for anything you want on the page. You might have multiple changes and you can use the same class. So I'll show you how that works. You probably, again, I'm already assuming you know a little bit about CSS. If not, you may have to do a little more reading, on your own. You'll probably be able to get what you need from these videos, so you can see how it's going to work here. And your book does a good job. Now I've selected class, and if I want to enter a name, I would do that right here. I need to enter a name for this, and let's just call this title. And then down here, this is very important. Rule definition, choose where your rule will be defined. If you're just doing a simple website, it's fine to do these inline styles. Now, when you're creating professional websites, a little larger websites, you really want to do new style sheet. So we'll do that in another tutorial because that's really important. And you want to start generating these new style sheets. That way you can apply styles to any page in your website. So if you have a heading or something and you want, or a paragraph, and you want that to be the same style on every single page, then you do the new style sheet. So we'll come back to that one, in another, probably the next tutorial. But what we want to do is just leave it in this document because we're just doing a simple website here. Click OK. Alright. Okay, here's an error that you'll get from time to time, which is good, that you'll see a title is a standard HTML tag. Are you sure you want to use that as a class name? Let's pick no on that, and let's just make it a little bit unique. Let's call it title Corvette, and click OK. And you'll notice that it changed the font automatically. Okay, that's not really very distinctive, so let's go back and change it. Easiest way to change it, see where my mouse is here on the right. Now you can see dot has a dot before it because it's a rule now. Title Corvette, so double click on it. And let's change the color to white so we can see that a little better. And let's make the size a little bit larger. And the fonts, you do have to be pretty careful about the fonts that you use, because if you use a fancy font that's on your system, a user may not be able to see that. So maybe you want to go with something simpler like Arial. Notice when I'm changing that it automatically changes right up here. Okay, so I'll click OK. Okay. And then if you want to see how this is applied, when you put your mouse cursor over this, notice it says targeted rule, title, Corvette. Okay. Let's say I wanted that word image to have the same rule. Check that out. Okay, it might be a little hard to see, but if you look down towards the bottom there, I don't know how to change this so you can see it a little bit better here. If you look down towards the bottom under the targeted rule, you'll see that the one that I just created. Then if I set that, there it is automatically. Okay, I did undo, Command or Control Z, and it takes it right back. So the class CSS rule is a good one to use because you may have multiple things throughout your site or throughout your page that need to have the same class applied to them. What you want to be careful of doing is creating a separate class for every single element on your screen, because what's going to happen is every time you generate a class, it's going to write more code. Okay, and here's what it writes. So it wrote dot title Corvette, and then here's your bracket, font size, color, font family. Okay, and then close style right there, so it added that. So you can imagine if you had a lot of text on there and you started to go in and format individually, it's just going to keep adding on down the page over and over again. Okay, let's do that one more time so you can see how to apply that to, for example, a paragraph. Okay, so this little paragraph, I want to go ahead and format that with a new rule. Okay, so here's the new rule right here. You can do this, again, a number of different ways. If you wanted to do a new CSS rule right here, you could do that and then apply it to that. If you have this highlighted here, you can just go ahead and change, say you want this to be white. You can go ahead and change it. Notice what happens. Your new CSS rule automatically pops up. So let's call this info, This is going to be our information paragraph. This document again, and click OK. All right. Here it is right here. If the formatting box does not immediately pop up, that's fine. You always go back to it right here. So double click on it. Okay, and let's say we want to change that to Arial to match, and maybe make sure that's 12. Okay, that's a little bit small. Let me change it to 14 here. Okay, and check that out. There it is. Okay, and let's put in a little placeholder for our links right now. Let's just say that we're going to have, right up here, we're going to have about, and then we're going to have specifications. I'll use a little divider here on my keyboard. Specifications. Whoops. History. And then contact. Okay, and then you want this to go ahead and apply. For now, we're going to go ahead and apply the info to it. So I highlighted it and then chose information. And it's all the way down. It's underneath apply class. Okay, and one other thing I wanted to do to complete this first basic web page tutorial is to add an image in right here. And I've got an image here, so I'm gonna open it up. Now let me show you here. It's huge. I mean, that's just part of it. It's off a digital camera. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is open it up in Photoshop and resize it. If you don't have Photoshop, you might have Fireworks. If not, you could use a program like Paint Shop Pro. Or I could recommend some other free ones out there. I haven't used many of the free downloadable image programs, but I can recommend some different options for that. Also, remember, you get educational pricing for any of these products that you buy. So here's the photo in Photoshop. But what I want to do is crop it into something that fits a little bit better on the website. So I'm going to crop like this. And then I'm going to resize. Okay, so I'm going to go up to image size, and I want to check a few things. I want my resolution to be 72, and I'll make the width around 1000. That would be plenty big. And then click OK. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and save for web. And I'm going to drop this in my folder. You can see that's a little large probably. It is a little large. Let me very quickly downsize it. I probably, if I was going to do a website, would make it that large, but in order for you guys to see it on this demonstration, let me make it smaller. Okay, that's being displayed at 33%, so I could change that, to view it if I wanted. I'm just going to save for web, do a file save for web, JPEG. For images, for photos, click save down here. You can't see it very well. Okay, and then make sure you put it in your site, in your folder. So I might call this vet and then ready or web or something, so I know which one to put in there. Okay, I'll hide Photoshop, and right here's where I want my image to go. So I can do a number of different things here. May have to refresh if it doesn't show up. See where my mouse is, I refreshed. Now you'll see vet ready. Easiest way to put an image in, I'll just get rid of that little text, drag and drop to where you want it. Okay, you can also go insert image. Okay, let me just drag and drop, because that's one of the strengths of Dreamweaver. Dragging and dropping works really well. Alt text for a screen reader, so I would say like a picture of Corvette. Don't put in a long description right now. Click OK. And there it is. Pops in nicely. It's too small, but it works well for the demonstration. And then if I want to preview this website, this would be like your first little project that you're working on. I'd do a file save, and then file preview in browser, and choose one of your browsers, whichever you have available. Firefox, is a good one to preview, obviously. And there it is. Okay, so that shows you what the website's going to look like right here. Okay, hide that and come back. So what we learned in this tutorial, this was a two-part tutorial because it got pretty long, but basically creating a website, dropping in some CSS formatting, new CSS rules in the styles panel over here. Class is what we focus on. We'll do the IDs later on, but we're doing classes. And then we did kind of little placeholder here for a menu. Paragraph of text would be right there, and then there's your image that was cropped from Photoshop. Alright, that's it.